This podcast was originally live-streamed on the Non Sequitur Show on YouTube. New episodes air weekdays, Monday through Friday, at 8 p.m. Eastern at youtube.com/nonsequitorshow. Make sure you never miss a live stream by visiting www.nonsexshow.com/schedule. For the latest news, polls and updates throughout the day, follow us on Twitter @nonsexshow or facebook.com/nonsexshow. That's NONSEQ show. If you'd like to get exclusive content, bi-weekly private hangouts with Kyle and Steve, backstage access to chat with guests after shows hosted on your channel and much more, become a Patreon saint of Non Sequitur. It ensures we continue to improve our show and brings you into the process at the same time. Visit patreon.com/nonsequitur today while the limited spots are still available.
The following podcast is intended for those who believe bold ideas are righteous, unique perspectives are gospel, and strong opinions are sacred. This is Non Sequitur. Never follow. And now, here are your hosts, Kyle Curtis and Steve McRae.
I like the addition of that music there. Welcome everybody. I'm Kyle Curtis. We are live this time, unlike earlier today and yesterday. We missed you guys. Steve doesn't exist outside of a live stream, so I missed seeing you yesterday, Steve. It's good to see that you're back with us.
I only exist when we're live. Just like if you're not looking at me, I just vanish.
Right. So it's good to see you back. And that noise is back a little bit. Yeah. Dave, mute Walter just a second until we get through the thing, and maybe that'll fix that. We're having a little sound thing. Walter, again, it's coming back through, so I'm not sure how we're going to fix that. Just give us just a second, guys. Yeah. Maybe,
it's going to be one of those days. You guys don't even know what's happened already before we went on air. It's going to be one of those days.
Yeah, I had a car issue that left me 10 miles from my house without my phone because it died. So that's why we're late. It's my fault today. This time I had an issue come up, but we'll get through it. We have gotten through these before, and we'll get through it this time. But yeah, we missed you guys last night. Good to be back. We are 28 away from 10,000. So. Thank you guys so much for that. As I said earlier today, we couldn't do this without you guys. We appreciate all the support, and we're excited to be hitting that big number. Maybe by the end of this show, share this stream. It's going to be a great discussion between these two very intelligent men. I'm going to try my best to keep up. I doubt that I will, but it's going to be interesting nonetheless. So who do we have today? We have Dr. Cy Garte, as obviously, this is going to be a lot different from him than Sunday. This past Sunday, he was with us with Furious George. And by the way, Cy, has anybody sent you a link to George's response video?
I did.
Yes.
We did.
I had the pleasure of watching it, yes.
Okay,
Wasn't it magnificent?
Don't get angry, Grandpa. Don't get angry.
Grandpa.
Grandpa,
yeah, that's right. That's right, Grandpa. Yeah, Grandpa.
And I'm a failed professor that's teaching everybody how to just not believe in God. Whatever the hell that.
And I'm the guy that disclosed to him before we went on air that I'm gay, like it was a secret. But I will
oh
say
my God!
Yeah. What? Wait!
I will say.
You
I will say
this, Dave.
the best part of that entire response video was that he gave everybody an arrow when he was talking about them. Like he went down the line, gave everybody an arrow. I like that I got the pink arrow. I thought that was very, very fitting. Because he remember when he said, he goes, yeah. So thanks, George, if you're watching.
It should have been a rainbow arrow. That would have been better, actually.
And all the way from Germany, we appreciate him joining us from across the globe. We have Walter Veit. Welcome, Walter Veit.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here.
I follow him on Twitter and see a lot of his posts. And when Dr. Garte sent me a message asking if there was a possibility we could do a discussion with somebody who talks about genetic engineering, it was kind of fate, I guess, because I was just looking at Walter's Twitter profile. So it was like, okay, cool. We've got this. So we're not going to run through what we've got coming up the week. If you saw our stream from earlier, you'll be able to see what we've got there. We're going to go straight into it, and I'm going to let Dr. Garte go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll go over to Mr. Veit, and he can do the same, and then we will hear about Mr. Veit's paper that he recently or that he's working on. I'm a little tongue-tied because I'm still got that adrenaline from rushing back. So, Dr. Garte.
Okay, thanks. My name is Cy. I can't get Kyle to call me Cy, but everyone else tries to. And I am a biochemist. I'm a retired scientist. I worked in academia for about 35 years. Then I went to the NIH for about 6 years as more of an administrative position. But I still keep tabs with science. I'm actually doing some theoretical biological work on gene regulatory networks at the moment, but I don't have a lab. And so I missed out on CRISPR-Cas9 because I don't have a lab to try it out in, which is a shame. But anyway, it's a fascinating technique, which we'll probably get into a little bit. And I also happen to be a Christian, but I'm not sure that will really come up in this discussion. I don't think there's much relevance for that, but we'll see. You never know. And that's about it. I've been on the show a few times, so some of you probably already have heard me.
Yeah, quite a few. You're number 3 with the most appearances. I think you're at 5 today. Yeah, 5 appearances.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, Mr. Veit, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and where you stand on genetic engineering.
All right. My name is Walter Veit. I'm currently studying BioRed, philosophy and economics. And, well, I'm a philosopher of biology. So I work on issues regarding the nature of what humans are, human nature, what we can learn from biology, if it tells us anything about ethics, and, of course, what new technologies in biology change on our ethical perspective. And, well, I'm a huge proponent of genetic engineering on humans, which will be the focus on this debate. Right.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay, Doctor, I tell you what, let's, Walter, tell us about your paper, because you were speaking earlier today, I believe, somewhere in Germany. So like I said earlier before we started, this is way over my head. I'm not even going to try to pretend like I know anything about this. So we kind of want to get your feel, and then Dr. Garte will ask you some questions based on, where your stance is on that, because I can't offer anything in terms of quality here. Maybe Steve can jump in a little bit, but it'll kind of be a discussion between the two of you. So what's your paper about?
All right. So in January this year, I published a paper in a philosophy journal called Procreative Beneficence and Genetic Enhancement. And, well, imagine a world where everyone is healthy, intelligent, long-living, and happy. Well, intuitively, this seems to be a wonderful world, right? But unrealistic. However, this recent technology, CRISPR-Cas, makes this dream perhaps a reality. And even if the technology is not that far advanced to create this sort of superhumans which are healthy, happy, highly intelligent, we still need to ask the question whether it is the moral thing to do to use this technology. And I'm arguing, well, considering parents are kind of obligated to make the life of their children go as best as possible to the same extent, if they're able to choose between particular genes to make the life of their child go better, then they would have the obligation to change the genome of their children. Right.
Okay. Dr. Garte?
Okay. So we should define a few things maybe at the beginning, although I think your statement's pretty clear. When we talk about genetic engineering and changing the genome, at the moment, using CRISPR and Cas, which is a very good technique, very simple, a lot of labs can do it, we're really, so far, mostly talking about health. We're looking at somatic cells, which means they're not the germline cells. They're not the cells that get transmitted. But we're looking at modifying genomes in somebody's cells that don't get passed, the changes don't get passed on to the next generation, but they can cure people of terrible diseases. And I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, that's not what we're talking about at this point. Clearly, that's a technique that it's not quite ready, but it's getting pretty close. And it will probably be within the next year that we will see people cured of some really bad genetic diseases and possibly even broader diseases. So that's one issue which we can probably put aside. I'm just mentioning that to make just so we get that out of the way. But it sounds like what you're talking about is actually the step further, which we're not quite there yet, obviously, and that is the idea of truly genetically enhancing the human race. Is that fair? What I just said?
Correct.
Is that a fair summary?
Yes, we want to make humans that are expected to lead better lives.
Okay. So I guess my first question is, who defines better?
And that's a very good question, and that's basically the question most people ask first. And right. I don't commit myself to any particular view of what a better or best life would be. In fact, I just say, well, take all the major accounts of what a good life is and just say, well, if a particular enhancement would satisfy all of these three accounts, which are, well, preference satisfaction, which is a kind of desire account, we're satisfying the desires of particular humans, then we have this kind of happiness notion, so it's a brain state, and the last very popular view in philosophy is objective list theories, and then we have things there like education, which makes your life go better, even if you really hate going to school, and if you never intend on having high education jobs, or you want to work in a low qualified job, whatever, it doesn't matter, education makes your life go better, whatever the case is. So what we get here are some kind of all-purpose goods, which would qualify under all of these accounts. I argue there's quite the number of things which would qualify, perhaps intelligence. Of course, we want to get rid of diseases. We want to make people happier and perhaps more empathetic. And all of these things, I think, are expected to make your life go better.
Okay, but you would leave the decisions of, let's not talk about the genes yet. We can get to that later. But you in terms of phenotype, you're like more intelligence, maybe taller, maybe stronger, maybe things that make people happy, whatever that might be. The decisions of what phenotypes to improve would be up to parents. They could choose any phenotype they're interested in, or who would do that choosing? Would everything be allowed in this view, or would there be some things that would not be allowed? So right. How would that process work?
So the obligation is obviously an obligation for parents. That is, if wannabe parents choose to have children, then they are obligated to create the life that is expected to be best as possible. What does that mean? Well, depending on what your information is, you may have very different views on what particular genes might help you with, right? The obvious response to that is you should gain as much information as possible, gather data that makes it likely